Hello everyone, it's 2024 December here in Kentucky. Pretty cold day. What I'm going to do today is make a video of Fitech standalone TPI Ultimate wire harness kit. Here I have my 89 Corvette. Great car, but it was kind of a rescue where it sit for several years. And I've struggled with reliability with it, mostly in the wiring and the ECU. Replaced the ECU, it went out again. So I think it's time to move on to something better. So here's what I'm working with. Fitech, new ECU, all new standalone wire harness. The purpose of this is to make the engine stand alone from the car. This new modern fuel ECU should make the injectors go from batch fire to sequential fire. I'll be able to move from the old HEI distributor into a computer controlled distributor, get much more accurate timing advance. And the biggest thing I'm looking for is isolating the engine from the car's wiring, because that's where I think most of my issue is the car's wiring sit a little too long. I'll eventually get it wired back into the combo meter, the gauge cluster, but right now I just want to get good reliability, good performance, good drivability, and not have to smack the dash and get it to start. So I'm not going to document how to install this part for part, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start installing it. I'll stop and give the highlights, and then at the end, I'll give a really good review and tell you whether I wasted my money, or if this was a mistake, or if this is a route that might be something y'all want to try. So with that being said, give you one last glance at the kit before I install it, and then here we go. Nice handheld screen. All brand new wiring, sub harnesses. We're going to have it's going to have its own standalone fuse block. And here's the car we're working with right here. Like I said, 89 Corvette. And here we go. We'll see how it turns out. All right, I'm getting a little deep into this job here. And first thing I need to do is get this HEI distributor out and replace with a computer controlled distributor. That's turned out to be quite a bit of challenge, and I've pretty much determined at this point to use this wire harness, I need to go ahead and do the smog pump delete kit and remove all the smog off of it. It's going to make the installation way cleaner, and I'm going to accomplish what I wanted in the first place, and that's just simpler, more reliable, more diagnosable engine. So that's just a tidbit along the way, and here's where I'm at. See, I've taken my distributor apart, having quite a bit of trouble loosening that up because it's been in there. It's probably never been taken out since 1989. So I've went ahead and started deleting some of this smog stuff, and then I'll move on. Update you later. All right, quick little update on what I've did so far. Fitech standalone wire harness, it's going, but it's not very Corvette friendly. It's hard to find a location for it, hard to find a way to pass through the firewall in this car. It would be better if it had like a bulkhead that would separate, and you could drill a circular hole and then connect at the firewall. But it comes with a solid wire harness that you're not allowed to cut except for one branch, or else you'd void your warranty. So I'm trying to do that. The best place I found to mount the ECU is near the battery, and I deleted my cruise control to make more room. Probably some people wouldn't want to do that. This is a cruiser for me. I'm not worried about cruise control, and I'm all about cleaning up my engine bay. So I went ahead and deleted that along with my smog pump. That was a great thing to do. Cleans up the bay so much. The smog pump delete, man, highly recommend that. Not too difficult. my car is a little stubborn because I got a lot of stuck bolts, but other than that, you know, the smog pump deletes a-okay. So I'm gonna keep chugging away at this, and we'll see where we're at. All right, guys, well, it's installed. It's officially running off the Fitech or Fitech standalone harness. And I have to say, it fired right up. My installation was probably a little more difficult than most because my distributor bolt snapped off the intake and I had to fight to get the old distributor out, re-drill, re-tap. But I have to say, I dropped the new distributor in, no issue. Wired the coil up, no issue. Fired right up. I've been able to attach it to the fan. The fan's running, kicking on and off like it's supposed to. So far, so good, guys. I've tip wired in the fuel pump straight to the back of the car. I put in this connection so I can disconnect it, but I'm about to run this wire hidden from front to back. So far, so good. I mean, it was a bit of a challenge in a couple spots, but I'm gonna keep chugging along. Definitely don't want to do this job without eliminate your smog stuff. I mean, it's you're already tight enough under the hood with what you've got to add. That just buys you a little bit of space. Probably the most technical portion was I had to rewire a coil from scratch. But even that wasn't that bad. I was able to buy the harness that went from the coil to here. I only had to wire in this side of the coil to the car. But as you can see, it's running nice off the new ECU. No more 34-year-old ECU. Another nice nice thing about this is it's so tunable now. I can go straight to tuning. Change my spark, idle control, change the idle at any RPM. Touch screen. Everything's working as it's supposed to. Pretty much first try. Alright. Latest update, I'll keep chugging along and see how this works. And we'll eventually get to the final review. Alright, here's the wrap up on the Ultimate TPI standalone wire harness install. Went pretty well. All the wires connected really well to my original sensors. The great thing about part of that was now the throttle position, IAT no longer has to be calibrated. The new computer calibrates that for you. Everything plugged right in. I did find that there was a good spot to pass the wire through the firewall on the Corvette. It's behind the battery. There's a bulkhead that goes through the firewall. About an inch above that, there's a nice place to drill and you can pass wires through there. I put a little grommet in to make sure there was no chafing of the wires. Instrument cluster, amazing. I was really happy. Everything works on it, except right now the RPMs are not working. Originally they worked because I connected to the new coil setup that I put in, but that was causing a fault code and noise with the new ECU. So I had to disconnect that there. And there is a provision on the new ECU for attack.
but connecting them, it does not work. So I emailed Fitech, and they told me what I need is a digital to analog tack converter. So I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to get that working, and then I'll have full operation of my instrument cluster. So sitting in the car, you don't even know that it's not a factory ECU. The tuning's great. I'm sitting there adjusting the idle awesomely, just adjusting the fuel ratios, fuel air ratios. I've got more confidence in that it's going to start and run than I've had in a long time. Every time I hit the key, it just fires right up. The original ECU, I believe, gave a 2-second fuel pump charge. This gives a 4-second fuel pump charge and a 1-second prime shot. So literally when you hit the key, it starts. I love the way the car runs. I don't feel like it has a significantly more horsepower or anything, but it's definitely running smoother. I highly recommend that. Now, as far as the project, it's on a 1 to 10. You know, I did some pretty tough projects, and I would call this is probably a 6 or 7. It's up there as far as, you know, what all needs to happen to make it work. Some people may call it a 10, some people may call it a 2, but for me, I work in the automotive industry, so I'm gonna call it a 7. As far as doing this to your car, it's not for everyone. Out of the Corvettes, C4 Corvettes, there's probably 5% of them that are really something special that should not be touched to this manner, should not be modified. And then there's probably another 40% that are owned by people who think they should not modify their car. But I won't get into that. Most of these cars are not something super special. They are meant to be driven, meant to be enjoyed. And if that's what you're looking for reliability, wanting to enjoy it, wanting the confidence that it's not going to leave you stranded, and just the ability to tune and upgrade. I can change the injectors now and change this right in the tuning. It's a matter of a touch screen. I foresee me being able to make this car much more than it ever could have been on the factory ECU. So with that being said, I made the right call. I'm totally happy with my swap to the new ECU, getting rid of that original ECU. And if some of the issues I've talked about with my car you're having, this might be a good route. I mean, it's ultimately up to your discretion whether you want to tackle such a big job or if you want to modify your car in such a way. But that's my take. So far, so good. It's running great. Driving down the road smooth. I can't complain. I'm pretty happy. Hope this helps somebody.